for joining me today. You see, I have a special box sitting here on the table, and I know everyone is wondering. In fact, someone said, are we going to make a deal? So yes, we're going to make a deal. We're going to start a little bit about talking about fast food, because I want to know how many people in this room have had fast food in their life.
Oh, yes.
Don't be shy. Honesty, I love honesty, thank you. I've had way too much fast food, and it's not healthy for you, but raising kids as a single mom, it was the quickest, fastest thing that I could get to put in their mouth, help them with the homework, me do my schoolwork, and get them out the door and get them to bed. Get them to bed and get them out the door the next morning. So I had to figure out some creative ways of doing some things. Well, one of the things that became very apparent to me is that there is a new product out. And it may not be brand new, and some may recognize it and some may not, but it's called Blue Apron. For those of you all who do not know anything about Blue Apron, this product was actually introduced to us by a friend of mine, Bruce. We kept getting this email that said, hey, have 3 meals on us. Okay. And we get another email. But we started to think, this has to be spam. There is no way someone's just going to give us 3 meals. I mean, food isn't cheap. So, to the spam, it went. To the junk box, it went. Well, one day we got this call, and she said, Patti, have you all been looking at your email? Yes, Jane, we have. Well, haven't you got that wonderful email that I sent you where you could get 3 meals? Well, yes, Jane, we did. Well, when are you going to take advantage of it? Oh, my dear sister, I'm so sorry. I thought it was a prank. I thought it was spam, so it went to the spam folder. No, she tells us. Please, try it. You'll love it. Well, because we love Jane, and we love that Jane loves us, we decided to try out Blue Apron. Now, I'm a skeptic. And I usually don't go about doing things like that, even if it's for the sake of a friend, but she made it sound so inviting that I had to try it for myself. So I'll tell you about this product. Blue Apron comes in a box, and it's delivered to your front door. I mean, how easy is that? It's different meals that come weekly, so it's convenient because you can tell them what day of the week you want them to deliver to your door. And it works out every single time. Now, one of Blue Apron's mission is to discover a brand new way of cooking. And y'all heard a little bit about that in our theme. But they wanted to make this product available to where anybody, anywhere in the world could have the same advantage of having a meal delivered to their home that they can prepare. So I know I've got you all excited, and I'm sure you're wondering now, well, how exactly does this whole meal thing work? And this is something that she really enjoyed. What you get in this box, by the way, everything is stored. It comes with all the food that you need. You have your meats, you have your noodles, you have your veggies. And it has this kind of sort of heavy ice pack, but it's considered a gel pack to keep it cold. And then there's this foil pack that helps to keep it cool as well. So if you're not at home when it arrives, guess what? It will stay perfectly okay until you get it. So I'm going to walk you through some steps of how this whole thing works. There's some great menu cards that's enclosed in this box. And each menu that they give you, there's a cute little name. So for this one, for instance, says crispy catfish and yasu kosho udon. Basically meaning it's a dish that was created in Japan. I'm going to give some cards to Miss Kathy. Will you pass those out? I would like for everybody to have a card so that you kind of follow along with the presentation. The very first thing that I noticed about this card is I really like the way that the food looks. But in the past, when I've gone online and I've looked at recipes or someone has given me a recipe, when I cooked it, it didn't look like this. It looked nothing like this. So I thought, wow, if I could cook a meal and it looks like this, I would be so excited. At the bottom of the cards, if you'll look at it, in the front, it has a list of the ingredients. It has these things called nicknames and all these little kind of ingredients here. Instead of them sending you a big jar of soy sauce or a whole lot of cornstarch, they actually have measured everything for you. And for cooking for dummies, people who don't know the difference between cumin and fennel seeds and thyme, they even label each package so you don't put the wrong thing in at the wrong time. So I absolutely love that. If you look on the other side of the card, it gives you instructions. Instructions of how to cook every single meal. I will go through the one that I have, which is the crispy catfish and yasu kosho udon. The very first thing that it tells you to do is to prepare the ingredients. So anytime you have any vegetables with the meal, you get the vegetables, you rinse them all off, and if there's some that should be chopped up, you chop them up and you put them aside. The next thing that you do is that if you have any meat that's a part of this meal, you want to make sure to rinse that meat out thoroughly, pat it dry, and set it aside. That way, when you get ready to cook, you're not trying to grab all these different things and rearrange and figure out where it is. The next thing with this particular meal, it says cook the aromatics. Now, I've been cooking since I was like 12, so I pride myself on being a decent cook for the most part. But I've always put the oil in the pan, and then I put my veggies in, you know, like for Thanksgiving when you have onions and bell peppers and garlic and celery, and you get that aroma going in your house, and then I put whatever seasoning I want. Well, according to their instructions, you put the oil in, and then you put the seasoning. I was amazed at by doing that, how the flavor, not only did it give you the aroma, but the flavor just soaked into all of those vegetables. The next one says to add the noodles and make the broth. It doesn't just say add the noodles and make the broth. It takes you through it. It'll tell you put the noodles, put the water in, let the water come to a boil on medium heat, put the noodles in, set your timer for 8 minutes. When it starts to boil, go ahead and add your broth. I like that because I say, again, in my opinion, it's cooking for dummies. Next, it tells you why the noodles are cooking, to go ahead and pan fry the fish. Now, how many of you have pan fried fish or cooked fish any time in your life? It doesn't matter if it was now or 20 years ago. Let me tell you some of the problems that I had with cooking fish, especially pan fry. If I cooked it too little time and I get ready to flip it, the darn fish just falls apart. And if I cook it too long on one side and I get ready to flip it, oh, it looks okay, but when you get ready to bite it, it's like, is this fish? All of a sudden it's tough and it's not appetizing at all. So with Blue Apron, when they write out the instructions, they tell you exactly how long they put the heat at, what temperature to put it on, how to put the meat in, how long to cook it on one side, how long to cook it on the other side. When you're done, it's telling you to add the snow peas. So now you're going to add the snow peas to the noodles and to the broth, and now you have this really great presentation, because nothing's great or better is than when you have green mixed in with some noodles. The last thing that it tells you to do is to go ahead and complete your meal. And what you'll be doing with that is you take the noodles and the snow peas and the broth that you all mixed up together, you put it in a nice bowl. It tells you to lay that piece of fish over the top of it, and then with some of your scallions or parsnips or whatever has been included in your meal, to top it off with that. That makes for a very delicious presentation. So I felt like when I cooked these meals that I was cooking restaurant style. I felt like I could invite anyone over to my house and say, hey, let's have some food. They didn't have to know that I learned how to cook it from Blue Apron, so shh, don't tell anybody because you may get invited. The next thing that I really liked about this is once you get through with this box, and now you have all these little individual packages, and you're thinking, okay, great, so I have all the food I want, it looks good, it tasted good, and so on and so forth, but what am I going to do with this huge box, with this gel pack, with this foil, and all these individual packets? Well, they even figured that out for you. You can recycle this box curbside. If you don't do recycle by curbside, and you just happen to be going by UPS, you can drop it off at a UPS store. They even made it so simple that you can print out a return label and send back 2 of the boxes at a time free of charge. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. When I return something that I buy at the store, they want me to return it and then they still want me to pay to ship it. Go figure, I don't have that kind of money. Come on. So, I really don't have that kind of money. So they took the effort out of trying to figure out what I was going to do with all of these pieces of equipment when I got through with it. So I really like that. In addition to that, they also sell products like utensils and colanders and things that you need to cook with and aprons. A lot of people don't know that. When I first started getting, I just said, hey, I got the food and I started cooking and I prepared and I never went back on the site because I didn't have any need for that. But in preparation for this speech, I found out that they have a lot to offer to a lot of people. One of the other things that they have is if they send you something that is kind of out of the norm of what they feel like you would be cooking with, they send you this cute little card that's called From the Farm. And I will pass this one around. This particular chart of farms talks about tapatils. It's a very well-known vegetable that's cooked when you cook Hispanic food. And it looks a lot like a tomato, except for that it's green. Well, we know when we're trying to get a tomato, we wait for it to turn red before we eat it. These will never turn red. And in fact, they have a husk around them. Well, the thing that I liked is when I got that card and I got the tomatillo, I didn't have to try to figure out what to do with it. It told me exactly when to cut it, how to prepare it, how to store it, and what I needed to do with it. So again, it took the madness out of trying to figure out what do I do with this special, unique looking green, oh, it's not a tomato, yeah, tomatillo. I really enjoyed that. Not only that, but as you can see with this is my real food. So it was kind of frozen. They're not frozen. The food is fresh when you get it. It stays fresh. It's not that at home sometimes. When I got home, even if it was a few degrees outside, that ice pack was still stiff as a board. I know some of my Toastmasters members here who have used Blue Apron and probably could agree that it is the best thing that has ever been created since fast food. Now I feel good that if me and Bruce are running all these errands with Toastmasters and with ham radio and with the alumni group and we just go, that we don't have to go run by the local KFC to get fast food. I can come home, and if you notice on the front of the cards, it tells you how many servings is included. I would get the 2 servings, what the prep time is, 15 minutes to 45 minutes, and how many people that it would feed. They also have a family meal option. So what I would encourage everyone to do, if you want Blue Apron, go out to their site. Guess what? You don't have to wait for an email to be sent to you from a friend. If you want to try them, they will send that same package to you, 3 meals, free of charge, so you too can try it out, and you will be a beloved person of Blue Apron. Don't be shy. Go out and get your Blue Apron today, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Betty.
I like the podium.
Podium, my friend.
Toastmaster Patti Adams, your initiative with this speech was to sell a product. You spoke on Blue Apron, a service that delivers fresh ingredients to the home. And first of all, I'm going to talk about some of the objectives for this particular speech and then some of the mechanics that I noticed. So, you certainly held our attention, I believed, but right from the get-go, when you see something, some mysterious object, you have no idea what it is, cloaked under this beautiful scarf, I don't even know what it is, but it's very beautiful and in itself interesting, you know, the texture of it, and you're wondering then, what's under it? So, I felt that you definitely secured our attention from the start. And then, when you unveil what's underneath that, Hajmina, is that what you call it? Okay, I'm not up on all of those garments. Then, we wonder, okay, what is this all about? So, you generated interest certainly by talking about the convenience, the menu cards, the cooking tips, and the fact that it's a fast food alternative and it's healthy. And then you did offer a unique selling position, namely the specific benefit. It's a healthy fast food alternative. You don't have to go to KFC after a Toastmasters meeting. You can just go to your doorstep and pick it up and cook it. And you already know, because of the cards that come with it, how long it's going to take and how many it will serve. Did you build value into your speech through the use of positive word choice? Definitely, like I said, with the cloaked visual. From the get-go, we were already understanding, ooh, this is something really interesting. Because what happens when you have something exciting? You cloak it and you have everyone hanging by a thread. When is she going to unveil it? What's going to happen here when she does unveil it? So with that, absolutely. But then by calling it the best thing that's ever been created since fast food, quote, that definitely gets our attention, and that definitely builds value. If any objections were voiced, did the speaker handle them effectively? None were voiced, but you answered objections that could have occurred, like the fact that you can recycle the box. And if you can't bring it curbside and you don't have that service available, you can take it to your local UPS. So absolutely. And you made the clothes. I loved how you weaved it from the beginning too. You talked about the trial and is this for real? Is this a scam? And so by the end, after you've experienced this, we know that it's not a scam. You've already built value into it, and then you're selling them again saying, guess what, you know what, there's no excuse not to do it, you're going to get it for free. So very impressed, I say, and, obviously the Toastmaster of the day was impressed, and he said that he is not usually impressed, and that's quite impressive. So very good job. I was sold on it, and you achieved your mission.
Thank you.
So, thank you.